So you may be wondering how the Fishbone Upstarters collaboration got kicked off, and I would say it had to have started back in the year 2000. I was a Fishbone fan since middle schooler. I used to go to concerts with my dad and friends. We got to meet the band a few times. I remember meeting Angelo, and he was just real great, real inspirational. He took the time to like talk with us, take pictures. I brought a blank shirt. Actually, I was wearing a red shirt, and I didn't have anything for him to sign, so I asked him if he could sign the shirt, and he not only signed it, but he drew this whole Fishbone logo. It took him like 20 minutes. He just sat there talking, drawing this Fishbone logo on the shirt, and got Norwood to sign it, and really great memories. So ever since those moments, I really wanted to one day work with Fishbone or just share the same stage. But I had no idea that I'd get to actually work on the same song as Angelo or really anyone in the band. So this is a huge step for me personally, but also it's a milestone for the band as well. So like 10 years later, I start going to these jam sessions in DC hosted by members of the Scotch Bonnets. And going to those jam sessions, I got to meet HR Bad Brains, Skeeter from Scream, and eventually Angelo from Fishbone. And got to jam on some of Angelo's songs. So it was like my first time kind of meeting him outside of just being like strictly just some kid at a concert. So not too long after all that, a friend of mine, Joe Keys, the one and only, put together a band, and a lot of my friends were in this band, and occasionally I'd fill in on bass. And it turns out that Joe Keys and Fishbone go way back to like Fishbone's like, garage days, just starting out. So Joe knew them from nearly their inception, as far as I can tell. Joe and Angelo formed this collaboration called the Late Bloomer, the Dr. Mad Vibe Late Bloomer Experience. It's a mouthful. On bass, I developed a reputation for genre surfing and having a deep pocket, which is really what the Late Bloomer Dr. Mad Vibe project needed. You go from slap bass to like, hardcore punk in like a verse to a chorus. The transitions were like that intense, and they were frequent. This happened like every song. So Joe thought of me for that, and he knows I'm a huge Fishbone fan. So I guess he gave me the chance to be in the Dr. Mad Vibe Late Bloomer Experience.
This post-apocalyptic PIU good dirty. Bomb smuggle lugger and bull snatch preacher. Hair trigger pulling, red button pushing. Babylon sabotage. All the laws are changed, they got nothing to do with you. Anywhere, say bigger anti-baggers, big people. One's gonna be able to hurt or a loser while they're losing. I ain't choosing either one. Cause they
Playing bass in the Dr. Mad Vibe Late Bloomer Experience is what put me in the position to even ask Angelo to do this song with me. So I definitely have to thank Joe Keys for that initial opportunity. But those gigs weren't easy, and the opportunity to build a relationship with Angelo and eventually pitch this song to him, was definitely well earned. We'd have, like with Angelo, we'd have a set of music ready to go, good, we're ready to perform, and then like a couple days before the show, he would change like 60-70% of the set, like all new songs. So we'd be like rehearsing all through the night, and we live on opposite sides of the country, so there wasn't a ton of rehearsal. So we would just kind of meet once, rehearse for like 6 hours from like midnight to like daylight pretty much, and then play the gig like the next day.
Oh, give me some on that. We did that, motherfucker. We was in the basement learning that, son of a bitch.
So while Angelo was a chaotic band leader, it showed that he had a lot of trust in us, and it also showed how bold he is musically, kind of fearless to do something like that.
You won't believe what the boss man say, so that you can get a raise and pay, but you don't believe in what he say. I see a yes man is a little less every day. A yes man and a yes woman, no, don't get a hit on so your flow. Sing deep into your soul. There's a lady in a prison with super club. Lost man with a big bug. get out of the line. Keep the ghetto jumping high. Sit up out there in the side. Say yeah, I'm witnessing the soul line. Well, maybe some more time, so we can see right through the lies of a good eye.
After playing a bunch of gigs supporting Angelo as his bass player, I thought it might be cool to have him join a project of mine. So I pitched him Bubble. We had a few FaceTime conversations. He seemed to really like the song, so he not only did a hook, or joined in on the hook, but he did his own original verse and even participated in the music video. And we couldn't be happier to have him, and really happy, couldn't be more happy with the way that the song turned out in general. So here is Bubble featuring Angelo Moore of Fishbone. Definitely pre-save it, and that would mean the world to us.
Living in a bubble.
You know, we're living in a world that's become so divided. You know, everyone is just so consumed with themselves. It's like no one cares anymore about anybody else. It's what I call living in a bubble. We're all just living in a bubble, living in a bubble. We're all just living in a bubble, living in a bubble. We're all just living in a bubble, living in a bubble. We're all just living, we're living in a bubble. See, everybody's in their own world. Only caring about themselves, all about themselves. And we don't see, we becoming all about me. Fuck you, society. 'Cause we're living in a bubble. We're all just living in a bubble. We're living in a bubble. We're all just living in a bubble. We're living in a bubble. We're all just living in a bubble. Living in a bubble. We're all just we're living in a bubble. You know, I realized that we're bigger than the bubbles that we put ourselves in. If we can just step out and learn how to appreciate each other and love each other, because you know what? Some days it feels like people just don't care. Trapped in a world of hate, greed, and fear. We don't see, we become an emotionless, selfish society. 'Cause we're living in a bubble.
Yes, we're living in a bubble, surrounded by trouble. Love in the bubble, but outside there's a double up of hate, fear, madness, and wrong. Where did it come from, people, and for how long? Will it stay, stick around, and turn everybody down? So defend and protect yourself. And those trapped outside the bubble, they need your help.